Come here, son, nephew, young man. Let me holler at you. When I was a kid, my parents taught me, son, get an education. You can be what you want in life. Well, that's about 1/4 true. My basketball coach taught me, hey, you can't stop a man who can't quit. Excuse me. You can't stop a man who won't quit. And you can't beat me if you can't outwork me. That's about 50% true. So if you put those two things together, you got about 75% of what you need in life covered. Now here's the other 25% that you have to learn to work around. We don't live in a society. I mean, look, you ain't gotta like it, but in 1776, this country was taken over, and if you really look at it before then, it was taken from somebody else. So that's the way of the world, whether we want to acknowledge it or not. People fight wars, people commit espionage, people get over on other people, and we live in a capitalist society. Somebody's going to win and somebody's going to lose. So now you got to determine, do you want to be a winner or do you want to be a loser based on the rules of the game that are out there? Now, I'm a believer in God also, so I play by a different set of rules with a power that's higher than whatever's on the board, but the Bible also tells you to be wise as serpents, yet harmless as doves. But keep this in mind about the God I serve, about Yahweh, the God of the Bible. He's a man of war and he's a man of peace. That's a complex thing for people who are non-believers, and if you hadn't read the Bible, and I'm not going to go into it today, but you have to be multifaceted as a man, and you need to understand who and what you're dealing with. In all that getting, get an understanding. You have a lot of people on this planet now who they say one thing and they mean something else. They have ulterior motives. They double speak. They do political double speak. You never know who somebody's related to. You never know who somebody's clicked in with. You never know what people are planning. So you have to learn and carry yourself accordingly. So with that being said, proceed cautiously until you learn how to handle those situations and recognize those traps. You avoid these narcissistic individuals. Once you figure out what they are, you go totally no contact with them. When you recognize gaslighting, when somebody's basically, they're playing stupid. They're acting like they don't know what's going on, and you know darn well they do. When you realize, wait a minute, this person is connected to this person who has it in for me, yet this person's still trying to get close to me. Or go ahead and avoid that person until you know how to handle that. When somebody all of a sudden comes out of nowhere and now they just want to be really friendly. When people are just doing favors for no reason. And granted, there are good people in this world, but you have to learn. It takes time to learn the difference. So you be careful at what you accept and how you accept it. Now, when it's somebody's job to do good deeds or somebody's known for doing good deeds, okay, fine. But other than that, you do have to monitor what you take and what you accept for people, because nothing in this world is truly for free. Be careful when you're divulging too much information. Tell people what they need to know. Tell them just enough. Don't give everything to people all at one time. You got to realize, man, we're in a place where people ask you how you're doing and don't really give a darn about how you're doing. If you don't believe me, let somebody ask you how you're doing and you actually tell them, and watch them start to walk away from that conversation. And this is your day one friend or somebody who's proven themselves, then you don't need to divulge all of your personal information and trust people so easily. As a matter of fact, People need to earn your trust. I've said that on this channel before, but I'm going to say it again because repetition is the mother of skill. People have to earn your trust. People have to show you. See, you don't know when somebody is really on your side when things are going well. Unfortunately, we go through hard things in life, and that's when you find out who is really in your corner and who is just talking. Most people are just talking and not really in your corner. But I digress, and let me get back on the path of this original video. You need to learn what narcissists are, why they are the way they are, and then you need to understand that you need to avoid them once you start to see some red flags. And then later on in life, once you become more experienced with these individuals, then you can practice advanced tactics to outmaneuver these people. And maybe what I need to do is start talking more about how to identify these people and how to understand certain things about them. But for right now, the main thing is when you meet people, when you encounter people, when you discover that people don't have your best interest in mind, or when they're operating in a way that is not normal, consistent, or in your best interest, keep it cordial. A hello and a goodbye is okay. And unless it's like if you have to work with these people or something like that, it's probably best that you keep your contact and what you have to say to a minimum, because we live in a place now where people take almost anything you say and try to use it against you. Be careful who you grace with your presence, and be careful who you give your information to, and be careful who you let close to you, and be careful to not be manipulated and used by people, especially to do some dirty work that they use you for, make you the fall guy, and then they act like nothing happened. That's one game that people play with you. I'm rambling at this point. I'm going to put some more thought into this topic so I can break it down into different aspects, and you'll probably see in the coming weeks a playlist entitled Dealing with Narcissists. Until then, and as always, never lose the will to win and never lose the will to survive.